I don't know about you, but I have been drowning trying to figure out 2026. And so basically, I downloaded Mel Robbins' Best Year 2026 workbook, got it on my iPad, got my pen out, was ready to go. And then I just decided it wasn't going to work for me. And so I outsourced my planning to AI, to an executive coach called Gemini. Now, don't get me wrong, Mel Robbins' workbook is great. It's 22 pages, though, to work through. And there were some valuable components for me. So the first one is looking back over the past year. And that involves taking your phone and going back and looking through your camera roll for triggers on what were your best moments that you enjoyed the most. And so for me, that was time at the beach near my Airbnb. There's a lot of beach photos. There was travel photos with my partner and spending quality time with my partner. And so those were a couple of aspects that I reflected on very positively. But when I got further into the workbook, I had to do things like look at what were the most high points of the year, what were the lowest points of the year, and basically write those down in the workbook. And then rate multiple aspects of your life. And there's about 10 different things that you should rate in the workbook. And they range from everything from family, health, spirituality, all of those things. And then get to what is called the start, stop, continue exercise. Now, if you've worked in corporate for a long time like me, you've probably done one of these exercises at work. But this is to apply it personally. And so this is where I had a hard time really coming up with things that I need to stop doing to create space for goals of the future. And so this is where I enlisted my AI assistant, Gemini, to function as an executive coach to help me kind of figure that out. So basically, I dumped in everything to Gemini of all of my commitments, my day job, managing the Airbnb, trying to start this YouTube channel, volunteering roles that I've held over the last couple of years. So I dumped all of those in and said, help me clear the decks and figure out how I'm going to make room for new goals. So Gemini was pretty ruthless and said, basically, I was doing too much low leverage work towards my goals. And so it helped me identify what areas to cut back. And it did so with a statement that really, really struck me. Basically, it said, if you want to transition to a new life, you have to stop servicing the old one. Wow, that was pretty deep from my perspective. So it didn't hold back, and that was a wake-up call that I really needed to move forward. So based on that, I created my stop doing list. And the first thing at the top of the list was my volunteer work. And while I enjoy contributing back to my industry, it was taking a lot of time over the past year or a couple of years. So I had to look at that closely. I've been serving on 2 volunteer committees the last year, as well as multiple board positions and facilitating board retreats in various parts of North America. And so I've decided to cut back to 1 volunteer board position for 2026. The second thing was the board retreat facilitation. And as much as I enjoyed doing that, it was really condensed into a 2-month period in the fall, which also coincides with a really busy period for my corporate job and business planning for that. So it was a really difficult time this year, and so I made the decision to facilitating board retreats. It was a difficult call, but when I sent my resignation letter in, a huge weight was lifted, and it was something that I didn't have to worry about in the coming year. Basically, if you're feeling brave enough to eliminate something from your 2026 priorities, hit the like button below so I know I'm not the only one making these difficult decisions. Finally, once AI helped me clear the deck, I realized that the 22-page workbook wasn't really going to help me on an ongoing basis be focused on a small number of goals. And really, Mel Robbins' workbook really boils everything down into a single goal. And I've got multiple. So I had to figure out something that works for me. So Gemini, again, helped me boil this down to a single page 2026 focus sheet. And this is where it gives me a few areas of focus and a common theme. Let me walk you through it. First of all, at the center of the workbook is my word of the year, and it could be your theme of the year, and it's freedom. And in quadrant 1, there are 4 quadrants surrounding this goal. Quadrant 1 is protect, and this is about protecting my body and my brain. And I realized in Mel Robbins' workbook that my health was suffering. I had inflammation and stress, particularly in the latter half of the year. So my goal here is simple. Stop eating foods that cause inflammation and spend more time resting and rejuvenating my body. Quadrant 2 is all about focus. And this is for my passion project, which is this YouTube channel. And my goal here isn't to be perfect. It's to learn a new skill. It's to help educate and share information and help educate myself along the way, and potentially create a future income stream for retirement. The third is simplify. And this is where I wrote down that stop list. And I wrote no bored retreat to make sure I don't go back and backslide into committing my time again. And quadrant 4 is connect. And this is for scheduling connection time, for relationships, and for fun. Overall, planning for 2026 really shouldn't feel so overwhelming like it has been for me. And I think this single focus sheet allows me the room to plan a little bit better and stay focused on key goals rather than an initial list that I drew up of about 12 to 14 different goals. It funnels it down into key areas of focus. And so that works for me. If you like this simplified approach as well, you can download the workbook from Mel Robbins and my 2026 focus sheet. I've cleaned it up for you. I have made it available for download. You can download it to your iPad and work on it there, or your computer, or just print it out and have it as a reference sheet on your wall as you go through the year. So let me know in the comments, before you set your new goals for the year, what's one thing you commit to stop doing in 2026? And stay tuned. In a future episode, I'm going to figure out how I translate these focus goals into actionable items that I can track along the way. Thanks for watching.